Guys, today is an episode of Club Review, and today I'm going to be looking at Crystal Palace under Patrick Vieira, who are currently 13th in the Premier League table. Okay, so Crystal Palace's form this season it's been worse than I thought it had been, given the amount of credit they've been getting. That they've only won 5 wins, but they've only won 5 wins. They've only won 5 games, but they have had a lot of draws, and some of the victories they have had have been quite amazing. Beating Man City at the Etihad, Spurs, Wolves, and also Everton, who I know are having a bit of an awful season, but still it's not a bad result, is it? But what that does show is their failure to beat the weaker teams. I think out of all the teams below them in the league this season, the only team they've beaten is actually Norwich. So that's not good. But they've had so many draws, but they will comfortably stay up this season. They've also beat Millwall and Hartlepool in the FA Cup, but lost to Watford in the EFL Cup. So yeah, it's not too bad, their form. They need to start turning some of the draws into wins. But the key thing is they're not losing too many either. I think they've only lost 8 games in the league so far this season, which is quite good, to be fair. Okay, so Crystal Palace's best starting 11 for me is Vicente Quaita in goal. He's prone to an error, but he's an all-round good goalkeeper overall. A back four of Joel Ward, Joachim Andersen, Mark Gehi, and Tyrick Mitchell. I understand that Andersen, Gehi, and Mitchell get a lot of credit, and rightly so. They're 3 really good young defenders. But I also think Joel Ward. I hear a lot of talk about Crystal Palace needs a new right back, and I don't see what's wrong with Joel Ward. And when also people make an argument about they need backup, well, they've got Nathaniel Klein and Martin Kelly, so I think they're all right in the right back position. And I think Joel Ward's a decent player. He's definitely not a weak link in this Palace team. He's a solid right back in the Premier League, in my opinion. He doesn't set the world alight, but he's good enough. And then in midfield, I've gone Cheku Chiarte as sort of the defensive holding midfielder. He's consistent. He's been doing it in the Premier League for a solid 7 or 8 years now, and is a good player. Just won the African Cup of Nations as well with Senegal. And then alongside him, I've gone with Conor Gallagher and Vieira. Don't need to say anything. 2 really good young players. I know Gallagher's only on loan, but he's still very good. And the front 3, I've gone with Michael Elise, who has only really just broken into the starting 11 for Palace, but has been brilliant since he has done. And it looks another really good young player. I've gone with Wilfried Zaha on the left. Nothing to be said about that. Great player. And then in the middle, I had sort of an option of 3 players, and I've gone with Jean-Philippe Mateta because I think he links up play better than Odsonne Edouard and Christian Benteke, even if he doesn't quite get as many goals. So for me, he would be my first pick as striker. Okay, so Patrick Vieira has done a good job this season. I think that's fair to say. I think Palace definitely needed to move on from Roy Hodgson. I think Hodgson did a really good job at Palace, keeping them up, considering the position they were in after the first few games of the 2017-18 season under Frank de Boer. He did well to keep them up, and he has done well to keep them up since. And they've consistently finished mid-table. Bottom 10, but mid-table, sort of like 12th or 13th usually. So yeah, he did a good job, but obviously we all know Roy Hodgson is getting on a bit now, and needed to have a successor, and they've gone with Patrick Vieira, a young manager this is like his first big job really. and he's made a good start. I know the improvement in results hasn't been maybe as massive as we thought it would be, but I think the football they play is better, and also, there's definitely a different culture in the team now. There's a lot more young players looking to improve, like Tyrick Mitchell coming into the team, signings Michael Elise and Vieira over the past 12 months, and also Conor Gallagher on loan. So like there's and Mark Wehi as well. So it's definitely got a different feel to the team, and looks like the only way is up for Patrick Vieira. Okay, so for transfers in, or additions, or whatever you want to call them, I've gone with centre back. I think they could still do with another backup to Anderson and Gehi, because they've only really got James Tompkins, who is like a proper centre back. I know Martin Kelly could probably fill in that role, but I think they need someone else. So I've gone with Bournemouth's Lloyd Kelly, because he's doing really well for Bournemouth this season in the Championship, and signing players from the Championship seems to work for Crystal Palace at the moment. He's a very good passer, very good on the ball, and just like it isn't very rash in like decision making or anything like that. So I think would suit Palace really well. And then I've gone with a left back because besides Tyrick Mitchell, who is still really young, I think he's only 22, they sort of need a backup or someone with a bit more experience at times maybe. So I've gone with, this might be a bit of a out there transfer, like it might be hard to see happening, but I've gone with PSG's Layvin Kurzawa because he's heavily out of favour at PSG now. He barely plays, if at all. I think he's only made the one appearance for them this season. He's still not that old. He's only 29, and PSG are looking to offload him. And I just wonder if Patrick Vieira, it's a bit of a lazy link because they're both French, but, could it happen? I don't know. He's experienced. He's good passer, wins the ball well. And yeah, he would be a good option for Palace to have, especially if Mitchell gets injured. Then they're struggling for left backs. It'd probably have to be Jeffrey Schlupp filling in, which wouldn't be great for Palace. Not that Schlupp's a bad player, but he's definitely a better midfielder than left back. And then the final option, I've gone with a left winger because I think they need another option besides Wilfried Zaha. Perhaps maybe a younger option. I think Zaha's got to be 28 or 29 by now. And also Zaha occasionally fills in a striker. So you do need another player in that position is what I'm trying to say. Not that I'm not saying that Zaha's not good enough at all. He's probably Palace's best player overall. But I've gone with Noah Lang from Club Brugge because his performances this season have been really good. He's an excellent creator, brilliant on the ball at dribbling, and also weighs in with a few goals as well. So he would be a really good option for them to sign, I think. Okay, so in summary, I guess, Palace right now, the club is doing well. It's just I think the performances on the pitch, or the results definitely, can be improved, and I think that if I was putting money on it, they will improve over the next year. And I think the goal for the next year has got to be to try and break into the top half of the table rather than sort of, languishing 13th. It's not bad for Palace's standards, but I feel like they need to make some progress under Vieira, especially with the positive young signings that they are making at the moment.